Picture this. Two people, standing at the altar, hands trembling, eyes bright, hearts swollen with hope. They're imagining their future, shared dreams, shared breakfasts, shared bills, and yes, shared bedrooms. In the glow of wedding lights and honeymoon fantasies, sex seems like it will be effortless, passionate, spontaneous, and abundant. Movies promise it. Social media glamorizes it. Romance novels exaggerate it. Friends hint at it. And deep down, many newlyweds expect it. But when the wedding dress is stored away, when the cake is eaten, when the last guest leaves, something happens. Real life arrives. Not with a whisper, but with weight. And suddenly, the very thing many couples expected to be simple, natural, and easy, intimacy, becomes a space filled with unspoken pressure, mismatched desires, and silent questions. This is the story no one tells you. This is the truth behind the curtain. This is sex expectations versus reality for newlywed couples. And understanding it can save marriages, deepen love, and transform the way we see each other. Not as perfect fantasy partners, but as imperfect, beautifully human souls. The expectation: sex will fix everything. From adolescence to adulthood, society plants a seed in our minds. If you love someone deeply, sex will always be amazing. But here's the truth: sex does not fix communication issues. Sex does not erase emotional distance. Sex does not replace vulnerability. Instead, sex reflects these things. It mirrors how safe you feel with each other. How seen you feel. How respected you feel. How listened to you feel. How emotionally available you are. When newlyweds expect sex to magically glue their connection together, they end up placing unrealistic emotional weight on something that is supposed to be an expression of closeness, not the creator of it. The reality: sex reveals everything. In marriage, sex becomes a magnifying glass. It shows the quiet fears you hide. It amplifies the stress you carry. It exposes insecurities you thought you had outgrown. A few months into marriage, many couples discover: one partner wants sex more often. The other wants it less. One needs emotional closeness first. The other seeks emotional closeness through sex. One is exhausted from work. The other is anxious about performance. One feels pressure to be perfect. The other feels pressure to be desired. These differences aren't the problem. How we speak about them is. For newlyweds, miscommunication in the bedroom can feel like rejection. But it's not rejection, it's humanity. The expectation: marriage means endless passion. People assume that marriage grants you lifetime access to a honeymoon energy where desire is constant, timing is perfect, and romance happens naturally. But here's something profound. Passion thrives in freedom. Marriage thrives in commitment. Sexual energy requires both. Real life introduces jobs, bills, family responsibilities, hormonal changes, mental health struggles, growth spurts and growing pains, personal insecurities, expectations of roles, fatigue, emotional and physical. Passion doesn't disappear because love is fading. Passion shifts because life is happening. The reality: passion must be cultivated, not expected. Fire dies without oxygen. Plants die without water. Connection dies without intention. Newlyweds quickly discover that sex is not something you simply have, it's something you nurture. This doesn't mean scheduling passion like an appointment, unless that works for you. It means intentionally creating environments where closeness can grow. Taking time to truly talk, beyond logistics. Holding each other without an agenda. Sharing affection without expecting it to lead anywhere. Building trust through honesty, not performance. Laughing together more than criticizing each other. Understanding that desire fluctuates, and that's normal. Marriage is not about forcing passion, it's about feeding it. The expectation: my partner will easily understand my needs. We carry assumptions into marriage. If they love me, they'll know what I want. If they pay attention, they'll know what turns me off. If they care, they'll just sense my desires. If they're my soulmate, communication should be effortless. But soulmates are not mind readers. The truth: many newlywed couples don't even fully understand their own needs, let alone their partners'. We inherit beliefs from our upbringing, culture, past experiences, religion, and media. We internalize them silently. And then, suddenly, we expect our partner to decode all of it. That's not love. That's pressure. The reality: good sex comes from good communication. Not just talk about sex. Talk about emotions. Talk about fears. Talk about insecurities. Talk about desires. Talk about boundaries. Talk about what feels good and what doesn't. Talk about how stress affects you. Talk about how your body and mind are changing. Talk about the things you were once embarrassed to say. Because intimacy requires truth, and truth requires courage. Remember this: sex is not just physical contact. It is emotional honesty wrapped in vulnerability. Newlyweds who speak openly about intimacy grow closer. Couples who avoid it grow silent. Silence becomes distance. Distance becomes misunderstanding. Misunderstanding becomes resentment. And resentment becomes loneliness. Even when sleeping in the same bed. The expectation: marriage makes you feel desirable forever. Many people enter marriage thinking, now that I'm chosen, I'll never feel insecure again. Now that I'm committed, my partner will always want me. I'll always feel attractive because I'm loved. But love does not erase human insecurity. Being desired once does not guarantee feeling desired forever. Marriage doesn't remove self-doubt, it highlights it. In the early months of marriage, countless newlyweds experience body insecurity, performance anxiety, fear of disappointing their spouse, fear of being compared to their past partners, fear of not being enough. And when insecurities arise, passion dims, not because the relationship is dying, but because fear is speaking louder than love. The reality: desirability starts inside. No amount of external approval can fill an internal void. Your partner can love you fiercely, completely, unconditionally. But if you don't feel worthy, their love becomes a mirror you're afraid to look into. Healthy intimacy begins with feeling connected to your own body, understanding your own emotions, accepting your imperfections, believing that you deserve pleasure, embracing that you are lovable as you are. Marriage is a partnership, but self-worth is a personal journey. The expectation: sex will always feel natural. People imagine that if you marry the right person, sex will be intuitive, no awkwardness, no confusion, no learning curve. But intimacy is a skill. It evolves over time. Just as communication evolves, love evolves, and you evolve. Sex can be awkward. It can be messy. It can be unpredictable. And that's part of its beauty. The reality: sex is a journey, not a destination. Newlyweds often discover that intimacy deepens as trust grows. Vulnerability feels safer. Life is shared more deeply. Comfort replaces performance. Emotional closeness increases. The best sex isn't always the most passionate, it's the most honest. The moments where you laugh together, where you learn together, where you explore without fear, where you feel safe enough to be fully yourself. Marriage isn't the end of sexual exploration, it's the beginning of a deeper, more authentic chapter. The expectation: differences in libido mean something is wrong. Every couple has mismatched desire at some point. This is normal. This is human. Yet newlyweds often panic. Did they not find me attractive? Am I not enough? Is something wrong with us? Are we already failing at intimacy? But mismatched libidos are not proof of incompatibility, they are proof of individuality. The reality: love lives in the middle ground. Healthy couples don't demand identical levels of desire. They negotiate intimacy with empathy, patience, and creativity. This may look like meeting halfway, finding new ways to connect, recognizing emotional stressors, prioritizing rest, understanding hormonal cycles, listening without judgment, being honest without cruelty. When desire becomes a conversation instead of a conflict, connection grows deeper. The expectation: we'll always feel ready. Newlyweds often assume that once they're married, they'll automatically feel sexually available. But humans aren't machines. You don't switch yourself on just because you've exchanged vows. You are a blend of emotions, energy levels, stress, hormones, and responsibilities. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're anxious. Sometimes you're preoccupied. Sometimes you simply need emotional closeness before physical closeness. Being married doesn't erase the complexity of being human. The reality: intimacy is more than intercourse. Real intimacy includes deep conversations, forehead kisses, shared dreams, soft touches, holding hands, giving each other space, understanding moods, supporting emotional needs, silent comfort, shared laughter, mutual trust. Sex is one form of intimacy, not the only one. When couples only measure closeness by sexual activity, they miss the richness of emotional connection that fuels long-term passion. A truth newlyweds need to hear. Marriage is not about perfect sex. It's about growing together through imperfect seasons. There will be times of abundance. Times of passion, spontaneity, excitement, exploration. And there will be times of drought. Times of stress, disconnection, conflict, or exhaustion. Neither season defines your marriage. What defines you is how you move through them. Together. So here is my message, the heart of this speech. Be patient with your partner. Be patient with yourself. You are both learning. You are learning each other's bodies. You are learning each other's past wounds. You are learning each other's desires. You are learning each other's silences. You are learning each other's fears. You are learning what love means for the first time at this depth. And that takes time. It takes courage. It takes humility. It takes communication. It takes tenderness. It takes forgiveness. It takes effort. It takes presence. Marriage doesn't demand perfection. It demands participation. The real secret of newlywed intimacy. The couples who thrive are not the ones who get everything right. They are the ones who stay curious about each other. They keep asking, how can I love you better? How can I understand you more deeply? How can we grow together instead of growing apart? How can we create a space where intimacy feels safe, joyful, and honest? Because in the end, sex in marriage is not about performance. It is about partnership, not about fantasy, but about reality, not about meeting expectations, but about building connection, not about being perfect lovers, but about becoming better companions. So to all the newlywed couples listening, to the couples who expected fireworks every night but found a few quiet evenings instead, to the couples who thought sex would be simple but discovered it was sacred, to the couples learning how to navigate desire, communication, and vulnerability, take heart. You are not failing. You are simply growing. Together. Love is not built through perfect moments. Love is built through honest moments. Through awkwardness. Through patience. Through understanding. Through compassion. Through truth. Sex expectations are fantasy. Sex reality is intimacy. And intimacy, real intimacy, is the soil where lifelong love grows. Give it time. Give it tenderness. Give it honesty. Give it grace. And watch your marriage bloom in ways far deeper than you ever expected.